so there may be other potential outcomes from going the tagging along with Sion in the Land of Thousand Fables route. Also, did I actually mark this? If I did, I did not. So let's do that. So there may be other potential outcomes if, say, you let/allow Sienna to assassinate the Duchess, in which case, presumably, Sienna becomes the Duchess. So that would potentially make for a pretty dramatic difference. But then there may still be other potential outcomes here, depending on what else there is in this area for us to do with this last quest here and whatever is happening at our house. So there could still be some things to happen there, but we will still look to explore other potential outcomes from going the Unseen Elder route. And so stay tuned. Just because this is at least approaching the true end of this playthrough, we'll do a little bit more of ad hoc videos added on to the end, where we jump in and take a look at some of the things that we opted not to do. Let's see. So it's oh, is this? It's like, yo, yeah. What are you doing here?
Guillaume, what are you doing here?
Leave me be. Without my Vivian, life has no meaning. You are the last to whom I wish to speak.
He's not pleased with us after... Oh, dear. He's just collapsing on the ground. Because, of course, speaking of the tournament, we, of course, kind of just said, well, let the... Oh, is that it? Just passes out on the ground there? Apparently he just passes out on the ground there, and that is that. Decided that maybe it was best to let Vivian do her thing, prioritize her over Guillaume. Guillaume just kind of seemed like he was kind of a selfish guy. You know, he was interested in Vivian, yes, but only interested in Vivian because of his own personal infatuation with her, and wasn't necessarily putting her concerns first. And she had some pretty serious things that she was working through, right? So that's why we sort of sided with her, so to speak. I mean, true, if she assassinated the Duchess, she probably wouldn't become the Duchess, that's right. I mean, she would be in line, but after being the person to commit the murder, probably not. This is true. I mean, if she had found a way to carry out her plan successfully and done so more discreetly, and made it such that people didn't realize that it was her who was behind it all, then maybe it still would have worked out. But yeah, I mean, if she, like, in broad daylight in front of a group of people like we were seeing there, did the assassination, then obviously it wouldn't work out in that case. But, you know, where exactly does it branch off and become different? You know, does she still meet up with her sister? Probably still meets up with her sister out there. So, you know, that would probably be where the assassination has, in which case, yeah, she probably wouldn't become Duchess. But, you know, the possibilities are endless. Alright, so back at Corvo Bianco, let's maybe save here. And, well, I mean...
Just yesterday, they were fighting like cats, and today, they're in business together.
Talking about the Duchess and Sienna? Perhaps, but perhaps not. But, I mean, let's just take a little look around the vineyard real quick. We've not really spent any time out here in the place where we can get the stuff that gives us additional mutagens. I mean, at this point, probably doesn't make much of a difference, but just so that we can say that, well, you know, we didn't completely neglect the vineyard. And these are... don't care as much about the various herbs we can get basically anywhere. So I guess I don't feel terribly inclined to get all this, but anyways. We also heard Regis say that he left us a gift. He left on our end table. Oh, sorry. Presumably in our room. Let's see. I mean, well, here. Not exactly sure we're going to be fighting people anytime soon, but why not? We'll just activate those.
You spread some nastiness to me.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll... Oh.
Master Witcher, some unknown individual barged into the residence. I resisted as best I could, but to no avail.
Is it
Who
Yen?
is it?
Alas, they did not do me the basic courtesy of
gotta be
introducing
Yen, right?
themselves.
Or Siri. And or Siri. Hello? Not our suits of armor. Anybody home? I mean, in theory, Marlene could potentially still be here, but besides her,
Unexpected as ever.
well, not really.
And beautiful as ever.
Won't you even ask why I've come? Or how I found you?
Wouldn't get a straight answer anyway.
Quite true.
Used to bother me, all your secrets. Now I know if you have something to tell me, you'll tell me. Don't need to ask.
I missed you, Geralt. Madly.
Is that
Come
so?
outside. We can hold hands and stare at the sky. Like some shitty two-crown romance.
I mean, that is basically what Siri said was Yen's dream, was to just sit back, relax at a place in the countryside, and not worry about all the goings-on. So, let's catch up with Yen here. Apparently she brought a lot of books.
Brought quite a few books. Let me guess. Working on a new spell?
Not at all. These aren't grimoires, just pleasure reading. The Name of the Orchid. A widower for half a year.
Always thought you too busy to make time for something as impractical as pleasure reading.
Because I was. But now I'm not.
Yen, you
A few
might
weeks
want
ago,
to
I awoke to the
adjust.
realization that I know
blouse a
not
bit?
what to do next. I have no plan. I have no goal. And you know what? I like that. Finally, I can stop thinking about politics and focus on what's important to me. Which is why I came here.
You mean to say us? You mean to say you're putting someone else before you for the first time in your life? I mean, that's not entirely fair. She certainly did a lot to help Siri, but she's very self-centered. So that is still kind of strange to hear coming from her. So, what about Toussaint, though? I mean, you found out we were going here. I mean, it's not that it was, like, top secret or anything. I mean, if you asked us, we probably would have told you. I'm actually kind of surprised you didn't know that we were coming here to begin with. But, I don't know to what extent you've been here before. Is this your first time? Do you like it, even if it isn't? Could you see yourself settling down here?
Liking Toussaint so far?
The landscape's lovely and the towns are charming, no question about that.
But...
But...
But the southern sun plays havoc with my wardrobe.
right, all
To
the
be
black.
blunt, wear black down here and you're pretty damn hot.
Might need to think about changing your color palette. Off-white and pea green, for instance.
And I'll wear scents distilled from turnips and daisies.
Nah, you can
I
stick with the
think
lilac
I
and
shall
gooseberries.
simply stay in the shade. And you'll bring me cool drinks. At regular intervals.
Now that's more like the Yen we know.
Bring you whatever you want.
Alright, and then, I mean, as we were talking about before, Geralt has never owned property before. Don't know if the same could be said for Yen, though.
You know? Feels kinda strange having a home.
I must say I never pictured you owning real estate.
Was something of an accident. But I'm not about to complain. Yen, back then, before we fought the hunt, said you wanted to run away with me to the world's end. This vineyard. Good enough?
Yes, although there's one thing missing.
Namely,
Siri?
I shall give you a hint. It's large, white, has 4 legs, category taxidermy.
Oh no.
oh yeah, the unicorn.
Referenced so often.
Fine. You can bring it down here.
I knew you'd see things my way.
Okay. Referenced so often, but never explicitly stated what the significance of it is. But I think we can get the implication. But yeah, I mean, it seems like we made it. It seems like we found the ending we were looking for.
Ever thought this day would come? Me and you, peace and quiet, bees buzzing, birds chirping.
I almost regret delaying
Pheasants
so
popping in
long
and out of
before coming to
existence.
you. I was quite the silly goose.
You have doubts? Though I imagine it might have been hard coming after me. Always were proud as a peacock.
Please, Geralt.
So many bird
I'm
analogies.
not like other sorceresses to feel that following someone means my wings have been clipped.
So many bird analogies.
Watch what you say about your colleagues. Remember, it's an ill bird that fouls its own nest.
When do they end?
Well said, Witcher. You're not only handsome, but wise, too. I feel a bit like the cat that got the canary.
Yeah, and I'm... Damn it, you win. This time.
Ran out.
How'd that start, anyway? Our duels and wordplay.
Forgotten. It was at a vernissage in Banard. You started it to keep from going mad with boredom. I remember finding your sense of humor both groan-worthy and somehow endearing. Never change, Geralt. I beg you.
It's just, I don't know. It's weird to me. I mean, maybe, you know, I'm thinking of only Yen's hard, cold exterior, and, you know, not giving her enough credit for the extent to which she's occasionally, very rarely, warmed up to us, but anytime she says something like that, that is genuinely kind and empathetic, it just feels like, are we still talking to the same person? Doesn't feel like it. Because the usual Yen does not have a bone of empathy in her body. But, well, perhaps, you know, she is capable of some change in that case, or it just needed to take a very long time to warm up a bit.
So, talk again later?
Of course. I'm not going anywhere.
Alright. I was gonna say, I'm not even sure we read the description for this quest. But, well, apparently it was talk to Yen. So, is that all? It appears as though it may. It appears as though it may. Out of curiosity. How many quests did we fail along the way? Oh, Iron Maiden, I do remember. We did technically succeed, although for some reason it still showed up as us failing. So that was a bug, I think, more than anything. Fake papers. I don't remember this. This must have been super early. See what the counterfeit past seller brother-in-law needs. Don't remember how that went down. Bitter Harvest, I remember this one. I remember this one in Velen, where early on we were supposed to protect the people when the ghouls attacked, and then we kind of didn't pay attention to the specific people we were trying to protect. We kind of like chased off the distant most ghoul, and then when we came back, everyone was dead. So that one I remember. Like I said, Iron Maiden, not actually failed, I don't think. Gangs of Novigrad, this one, I think is one where you like technically cannot do this. You cannot succeed at this if you take certain quest options, and the quest options that we took were such that there's no way for us to succeed, so this was sort of a guaranteed fail. And then Brothers in Arms, this one, well, was us trying to recruit Kira, and we know how that went down. I talked about the highs from the experience. The low probably doesn't surprise you. It was Kira Metz. To pull back the curtain a little bit, look behind the veil on that one. To be brutally honest with you, after that happened, I was really, really mad about that, to the point where I almost ended the series, to be honest with you. It felt like, you know, I knew she was a significant character. I didn't know how significant, but that was before we had really done anything where we had sort of gone back and reloaded things to see if there was, you know, if it might have been preferable to go any different route, because at the time I was feeling like, you know, because we didn't have a precedent for that. We'd never done it before. It felt like, you know, that's save scumming. I can't do that. But, and so I sort of was harboring that frustration for a long, long time from that, wanting to have reset after that, but, feeling like I couldn't do so. So, and then by the time people were saying, Lids, you should have done it, then it was too late, because then we would have had to have redone, like, you know, 6 hours worth of stuff, and that just would have had everything grind to a halt. So anyways, that's all the backstory from the Kira Met stuff. And you've heard me talk about how I felt like it was misleading, the whole, like, suddenly we're killing someone who was I thought, our friend. So that's, you know my thoughts on that. But, that's the low end. I talked about the high ends as well, of course, but those were the highs and the lows. Or highs, like I was saying earlier, being Battle of Kaer Morhen, wedding in Hearts of Stone, and then tournament / ending in Blood and Wine. Let's see. This is the gift that Regis left us. Mutagen generator. What? And letter from Regis? Let's see. Dear Geralt, if you're reading these words, it means I am already far beyond the borders of Toussaint, and you have found my mutagenerator. Of course, you may dub this instrument however you like. Yeah, it's a few too many syllables for me. Perhaps something more fitting to your taste or better reflecting its function, for I have no doubt your knowledge on the subject of mutagens is far more profound and thorough than mine. Yet, somehow you had this thing that could prove very useful to a Witcher that we'd never heard about. I've been working on this device in my spare time, but now it is finished, and I am convinced as an inventor can be before his invention has been used as intended, of its usefulness, of the usefulness of this apparatus. You are surely wondering what function it is meant to serve. As the name indicates, the mutagen generator generates mutagens. It operates by absorbing electromagical energy waves from the body, or from bodies, in this case the bodies of the monsters and evildoers you kill, and when it has absorbed enough so as to be charged a critical amount, the mutagenerator changes the stored energy into a greater mutagen, which I suspect you will make good use of. As you surely understand, I am an amateur engineer, which is why you must forgive the lack of an ability for you to direct this operation. Which mutagen emerges as a result is determined at random, meaning chance will decide if it is a green, red, or blue mutagen. Chance, yet I have noted the colors tend to alternate, by and large. I trust you shall find my gift useful. Your dearly devoted friend, Emil Regis Rohelik Terziev Godefroy. Yes. You may be wondering why I decided to toss the mutagenerator into your home instead of simply handing it to you in person. Well, you must know I did it out of modesty, believe it or not. Take care. What? I'm not sure how that differs at all, how that makes it more modest. Okay, sure. Take care, Geralt, and may my gift serve you well. Okay, I'm not really sure to what extent we are going to have additional mutagens to generate at this point. I would think that's perhaps most relevant if you happen to finish the main quest a little early and still have other side quests to do, and so you're still running around doing some stuff and have reason to want to develop additional mutagens.
Geralt, come here. Let
What?
me give you a kiss, you dashing young thing.
The peasant that just said that? Not gonna lie, at first I thought that was the voice of the Duchess. I was like, what? What are you doing here? Recommend meditating for 3 days, then checking back on the guest room. Okay. Does it matter where we meditate? Meditate in the basement. Head back in here. I don't remember if there's actually any reason why we have to be here. I mean, if we wanted to do additional mutagen stuff. There also this thing? Oh. Just replenishing alchemy items, so sure. Alright, but let's do the meditation.
Can you fathom it?
Let's do it. Yeah, I think I know what the unicorn means. But to continue to pull back the curtain a little bit on part of the reason why I keep skipping those scenes, part of it is because I don't really want to be posting those types of scenes on YouTube. That's not what I am making YouTube stuff to do. Even if, you know, it's something that's some people may think is an important part of the game. To me, it's not a point of emphasis. Also, it adds probably on the order of 3 hours per video anytime I need to add blur. So because I'm usually editing and uploading videos before work every day, that would mean waking up at an ungodly hour, and perhaps not realizing until it needs to be until like the morning of that I suddenly need to blur some stuff, and so that's another reason why I avoid those scenes like the plague. Two reasons that, you know, collectively have driven a lot of that decision making. So that's been almost 3 full days. Might need to meditate slightly longer, because it's a 23-hour meditation every time we do that, or like 23 and a half or something. So I'm not sure if we need to go like a full day here. Go till noon. First check the upstairs room, then our own. Okay. So, in that case, got the Major Domo. That has not changed. Also, I mean, we can just like take a minute here to just, as we're taking a walk down memory lane, let's take a look at what our pieces of stuff or pieces of armor and weapons we've used to commemorate our entire witchering experience. So we've got, what is this, our Griffin Armor, which I think, I'm a big fan of the red. I think we did a good job coloring that one. And this was our banana tiger hunting wolf school suit that at one point in time, for a brief moment, was meant to be our, what was it, our Lambert/Eskel doppelganger suit as well. This is from the tournament. Like I said, good times on that for sure. Then, I mean, this is from Blood and Wine, or rather from Hearts of Stone. It looks similar to what we wore in the wedding, although I don't think it actually is what we wore in the wedding. It's a little bit more colorful than that, but in some ways it's sort of by extension just our memory of Hearts of Stone. And then I just think, you know, the Flaming Rose stuff, you could say is a throwback to even The Witcher 1, given how they were, of course, a huge component of The Witcher 1, so even more of a trip down memory lane in that case. And then we've got other swords that, in the case of Gua here, that's from Witcher 1. In the case of Dahlia, that's also one that's from Witcher 1, and I think, right? Or I forget what the story is behind that one. But Iris was a Olgierd's sword, so that's obviously of great significance. Then over here where we put the combination of Hjalmar's sword, and if I could get the other one here, Winterblade, which was Croc's sword. Oh, do we actually? Ooh. We have, we do have, okay, yes. For a second I thought these were unused, but Harval, that's from The Witcher 1. And Geralt of Rivia's sword from the tournament, also commemorative. So, yeah, I like how, you know, the things we have here sort of have some sentimental value. And we have Ciri and Amir, kind of for the memes, but, you know, of course, Ciri is near and dear to our heart. But anyways, let's head up to the guest room and see what the deal is here. Is that always there? I don't know. Got the paintings as well, which I didn't even mention, but... have we not waited long enough? Because this doesn't look like much has changed here. Is this new, though? It is the dress? Okay. It is the dress. Yeah. Let's see. Then you say check down our room. Anything different here? Is that new? I don't know. This painting is ridiculous. Yeah, I feel like we might need to meditate a little bit longer, is the sense I'm getting. I'm kind of feeling like we may need to meditate a little bit longer. I don't know how much longer, but I mean, in theory, we did meditate 3 days.
Myself.
So now it should be over 3 days. So I don't know if we should still go back up to that guest room. There's still additional things to notice here, or if it's just the dress. Looks like it's just the dress, but perhaps the bigger question is anything that has happened in our room here. Not that I can tell. I don't think. Looks the same, I'm pretty sure. Alright, for 2 more days, hopefully, yeah, maybe we just go for the full day meditation. Maybe we're getting a little too fancy-schmancy, not go with a super long meditation. Go for a big one here, and then... I mean, is there any way we can potentially rest for too long? Meditate for too long? Is there any reason not to just keep on meditating like crazy and just hope that that's enough? Just pass a bunch of time this way. Also, this reminds me of the whole thing where Geralt was saying before the ceremony in which the Duchess was giving us that honor for fighting the Beast of Beauclair. Regis said, you know, you have a little bit of time before the ceremony. Sure, you can go out and try to talk to Sienna. And then we did some things in which, like, several hours passed. Possibly even a day passed at one point. It was like, I'm pretty sure this ceremony would have happened by now. We would definitely be late at this rate. Okay, but anyways. Passed a lot more time now. Anything up here? We have the new dress. But I think that's it. Then... our room. Big question is our room. Looks pretty darn similar to me. I think. Is Marlene still in here? She is.
I thank you for letting me stay. I cannot remember when last I was this happy.
Oh, that's sweet. Have we asked her about these things yet?
I'd never expect someone with your past to feel drawn to the kitchen.
Do you fear I will cook in your home as I brewed as a white?
I mean, I hope not.
Counting on you having slightly better taste as a human.
Of that, you can be sure. I loved cooking, even as a child. My gran was a true master in the kitchen. Her spit-roasted oaks was famed throughout the land.
Thought you were a lady, owned an estate.
Do you mean to say a woman of my rank should have had a cook? You're right, of course. And I had the best of cooks. But I devised the dishes myself. They only prepared them.
We might have heard this? Might. That sounds vaguely familiar, but what about the company of others, just in case we haven't heard? Let's just check.
You sure you don't feel lonely out here?
I cannot say yet. Too little time has passed since you freed me of my thrall.
I mean, it's been a
But
little while
somehow,
now.
for now, at least, I do not feel drawn to the city, to others.
Yeah, that we definitely
Visited
heard.
others' homes as a white.
Yes, but ever at night, when all were asleep, I went in search of spoons.
Remember, you can always change your mind. Decide you've lived here long enough, just say the word.
I'd never wish to seem ungrateful.
And I'd never want you to stay against your will.
Alright, well that's everything with her.
See you later.
Take care, Witcher. And remember, you always have warm food awaiting your return.
Okay, so I think there's a few things we can do here. If we're done upstairs, but there's something that's just not showing up downstairs, we can meditate a little bit longer. We can try that. if this doesn't work, then I think what we'll do is we'll try loading, like saving and reloading, and see if anything changes after doing that. Sometimes that might just, you know, give the game a chance to reset a bit and realize, hey, something is supposed to happen that we were not previously allowing you to do. So,
Was it not you who freed
let's
the
see.
town from
That's a
blood
2-day
monsters?
meditation. In our room, we will now find that nothing has changed. I do think. This looks very similar. So, let's try.
Foes yesterday,
We'll just save here, and then we'll reload that save and see if that changes anything.
tomorrow, lovebirds tomorrow.
So let's load that. And hope is that either just going directly back in after loading in this save that it'll show up, or, you know, now that we're on this new save, we'll remeditate, and then maybe at that point, the game will realize that it still needs to do something for us here. Let's see. Anything here? This still looks the same, but, you know, after just reloading that probably is not too much of a surprise. The real question here is, if we meditate now, does the game suddenly acknowledge that time is passing, when previously it did not? So let's do a few meditations here, just to be on the safe side. Let's not cut corners here, just so we can say definitively as to whether this whole reloading strategy works or did not. This will be just short of 3 days, and if we can't wait too long, then let's just make sure we're going well over the usual 3-day requirements. So we should definitely have waited the duration that we need to wait. We've tried it on a new save file. So will this suffice? Will this do the trick? Is my question. And the answer does appear to be no, by the looks of things. Yeah, I mean, like, other than, I mean, if it's something sort of nice and conclusive with the storyline, then, you know, obviously I'd like to experience it.
Now I shall sink you a song.
Because, you know, I feel like, you know, we're missing out on something that's kind of important, a way to wrap things up. But, you know, if it doesn't show up, then it's only so much we can do, right? But, I mean, the other thing I can think of is, like, okay, if we're continuing to go down the list of potential ways in which to fix this, could we fast travel away from Corvo Bianco, fast travel back, and then maybe by doing that, suddenly the game would realize it's supposed to do something? Maybe. But, you know, the list could be never-ending as we just go to more and more obscure and unlikely methods to potentially get it to happen. Fast travel to Velen? Okay. Let's try something dramatic. Like going to an entirely different area. Like, ew. Velen. Gross. Where in Velen, you ask? How about... I mean, it doesn't matter, but... How about... How about Crookback Bog? Not that it matters much. We've, of course, already done our Ben and the Tiger hunting over here, and we are not currently equipped to do it, so we cannot do it this time. Been there, done that. But, you know, it's a place of some significance in Velen, perhaps the most significant place in Velen. So now, let's head back. So we go to Toussaint. There's still a quest marker here. Sort of. And it was saying we should go here, although there isn't actually a quest here, so that's a little strange, but okay. Back to Corvo Bianco. Can't go here because our custom marker's like right on top. There we go. My other question would be, is this something that if we go through a different ending, could we still go through the end of the game and experience this then? In which case, you know, maybe we just be patient and we'll find it then.
Vampires attacked the city. Is that true?
Vampires attack the city, you say? But anyways, here is another effort. But it doesn't really look like anything has changed. Yeah. So I guess in that case I would say, if it is possible to still experience whatever this may be after doing the after doing the other ending, then, you know, perhaps we save it for that. If not, then I guess just tell me. Okay, hopefully we'll, yeah, if it's at least possible, I'd say let's refrain from spoiling it just in case, and then if it doesn't work then all right, all bets are off. But I believe, looking at the map here, that at this point we have these, despite being not grayed out, we've checked, and we have in fact done everything that you can do here. I believe we have now, dare I say, done just about everything that you can possibly do in The Witcher 3. At least, you know, there are some side quests that maybe we passed up on along the way that are no longer available, but at least all the things that we can possibly do at this stage, I believe we have done them. Because Toussaint, as we were just saying, everything done there. Oh, hold on. We were just in Velen / Novigrad, but this was, of course, very long time we spent here, and we're talking more about the highs and lows of our entire playthrough. I would say the low as a whole was probably Velen. Personally, I think if I were to give the game one of my criticisms of the game, I would say would be that Velen was just too big. I think, yes, there's a lot of stuff in it, true, but I think it started to get repetitive, and it started to drag on a bit, and at least from a plot, from a main quest standpoint, you know, I think there was a long time in which we went without doing any main quest stuff, because there was just so many places to go and so many other things to do that just felt, comparatively speaking, like they weren't as impactful. You know, so many guarded treasures and bandit camps and what have you that, you know, once you've done a few of them, it feels like, okay, you know, we're just exploring this area to find the next bandit camp, the next guarded treasure. And, you know, every once in a while you'll get a type of enemy that's a little bit more unusual, but even when we went back later on and did some of the remaining guarded treasures, we saw that, you know, the like 4 or 5 that we had not done were all earth golems or earth elementals or something like that, because that was basically the high level guarded treasures in almost every instance. And so it got somewhat repetitive, and so I would say if Velen just got like cut in half, then the game would probably be even stronger. You know, it's obviously The Witcher does pride itself in having so many things for you to do, and that's true, but you know, the things you do have got to be fun and interesting things, and I think Velen, to a certain extent, did drag on a bit, whereas other areas, because they were shorter, were a little bit more poignant. But even in Velen, did everything either in both the southern area and, of course, the Hearts of Stone northeast area here that may or may not technically still qualify as Velen, but Novigrad as well. Vizima. Not sure when the last time we went here was. Well, we did go to see Emir, but not much to do there. White Orchard, we even stopped by on a few occasions to say... So, oh wow, we still have a marker there. Okay, we'll get rid of that. But we went back here to sell things like our what is it? Our honey to the herbalist, because she pays a good price for it. So we even went there a few times, and then, of course, Skellige, spent our fair share of time there, and did, of course, go through and explore the 7 Seas of Skellige. As long as that might have taken, we went through it, and we got a lot of money out of it, and we pushed the limits in terms of how much weight you could carry. Went over 1,000, well over 1,000, in fact. This is not grayed out, but it did seem as though we explored this several times and found all there is to find in that area. So that's all taken care of, and then finally, Kaer Morhen. Relatively small, comparatively speaking, but did everything here as well. So I think that means we are truly done with everything, except for the alternate endings we'll check out for the Blood and Wine. And there's one other small thing that I want to see, an experience that we missed out on back in Hearts of Stone, that I'm thinking if we can find the right spot in our old save files to check that out again, then we'll give that a look too. That is true. I did decide to delay the main quest for a while there, but that was partially because, you know, we were saying, hey, some things, once you do the main quest in Velen, will no longer be available to us, so I wanted to make sure we did as many side quests before that as possible. But yeah, you know, to a certain extent, that was our own doing as well. That's fair. But anyways, with all of that being said, I believe that brings our at least canonical Witcher 3 playthrough to an end. So again, thank you all for watching, especially those of you who were in it from the beginning to the end. Thank you all so much. And what comes next? Well, we got a little more Witcher left in us. So, I'll catch you guys next time.